There'll be winners and losers, barn burners and snoozers this week in the SEC.
Well, friends, Week 4 featured quite the shakeup in the SEC, with 2 big upsets, 1 big beatdown, and a grass-eating coach sent to search for greener pastures. So we can't wait to see what's in store in Week 5. Alcorn State at Arkansas. After getting his lunch eaten in College Station, Brett Bielema brings his hungry hogs back to Fayetteville for a little home cooking. And what's on the menu? Alcorn State. In a snoozer, Arkansas. Florida at Vanderbilt. Last week, the Florida Gators proved that Twitter talk is cheap, ducks can pull trucks, and that burnt toast is the perfect precursor to eating crow. This week, they'll go looking for revenge in Derek Mason's backyard, and this one's gonna get uglier than a blind blacksmith's thumb. In a snoozer, Florida. Louisiana Monroe at Auburn. Week 4 was an emotional roller coaster for Gus Malzahn, who learned how quickly devastation can turn to delight. This week, it'll be the Warhawks against War Eagle, and somebody's getting their wings clipped in a big way. In a snoozer, Auburn. Memphis at Ole Miss. Fresh off a big win against Georgia, Hugh Freeze is happier than a woodpecker in a lumberyard. This week they host the undefeated Memphis Tigers. Expect lots of good scenery in the Grove and one pretty picture on the scoreboard. In a barn burner, Ole Miss. Texas A&M at South Carolina. Will Muschamp needs a win like a 10-year-old girl needs the Wi-Fi password. But unfortunately for the Gamecocks, Kevin Sumlin's Aggies are hotter than a billy goat in a pepper patch, and they're gonna eat South Carolina alive. In a snoozer, Texas A&M. Kentucky at Alabama. Fresh off a big win against South Carolina, Mark Stoops' fancy felines travel south to face big bad Bama. And just like a virgin on prom night, this one's gonna be done in a hurry. In a snoozer, Alabama. Missouri at LSU. Last week, Les Miles' clock management was a lot like Trump's debate preparation, non-existent. And after the game, school administrators delivered a message that could have come from the Donald himself. This week, LSU will square off against a tiger of another color and attempt to claw their way back above 500. In a barn burner, LSU. Tennessee at Georgia. Last week, the Vols spent half the game looking like they couldn't catch a cold if it had handles. But in the third quarter, that big orange machine started running like a scalded dog down a slick hill. This week, they'll face Kirby Smart's cuddly canines, and we're predicting the steamroll continues. In a barn burner, Tennessee. Well, folks, that does it for this week. 5 conference games and a showdown in the SEC East. And friends, if that don't light your fire, your wood's wet.
From way down in Florida up to Kentucky, Texas to Tennessee, there'll be winners and losers, barn burners and snoozers this week in the SEC.